Hey everyone, it is Evan here from the Trade Risk on Wednesday, April 10th. We are intraday right now, and this is our weekly trade ideas video where we bring you some of the names on our watch list, stocks that are holding up well, showing some relative strength, and ideally are not yet too extended in their move. Now we are recording this intraday. We got Fed minutes out in about a half hour at the time of recording this, so we could see some movement in some of these names towards the end of the day. So of course, make sure you do your homework and all of these sort of fit your strategy and what you're looking for. As always, these videos are powered by our partners over at Investors Business Daily. I'm curating ideas based off of their stock lists, and you get access to their stock lists with a link in the description of this video. So we have 5 names we're looking at today. First 2 come from IBD. Number 1 here is Palo Alto. We've talked about this name in the past, but it is consolidating here above prior all-time highs. So you can see back in 2018, this made a high of just about $240. It had pulled back steep with the market in the fourth quarter. It has rebounded. It is consolidating right above or at the prior all-time highs, and we're sort of waiting to see which way this wants to lean. Earnings are out of the way, so we have plenty of time here, and it is just consolidating sideways. So I like the tight pattern. Tried to get going today. A little bit of rejection here, so it might need some more time, but I'm fine with time. Again, this is a watch list name that I just pay attention to, and if it can break out here, we'd look for continuation to new all-time highs. So that's our first name there, PANW. Number 2, coming from IBD's list, is HubSpot, HUBS. This one here, again, trading just under its all-time highs. Some great relative strength here. It's been a strong performer over the past 3 years. It's consolidating now for about 2.5 months in this sideways range, about a 15-point range, and I'm liking the fact that it is still finding support at $160. Not convinced yet this will turn into a continuation pattern, but it is something I'm watching. Some good relative strength here, and we get about a month or so before earnings, so hopefully maybe this can make a move into their announcement, into an earnings run-up, so to speak, but gonna have to see the price action confirm that. Just watching right now, 160 as support, 174 as a potential breakout zone. So those are 2 names from IBD's list. Let's kick it over to things I'm watching. Number 1 is a short on the market. So of course, if anyone's tuned in here over the past several episodes, videos, you guys know that I don't short individual stocks. I'm only looking at potential indices and ETFs for short ideas, for short exposure, and they don't, certainly in this year, they haven't come up as too much for opportunities. But IWM is one that I was watching and talked about it briefly in yesterday's market recap video. It clearly is negating its potential short setup today. It's up 1%. What I was looking for coming into today was basically follow through to yesterday's selling, and we did not get that. So the setup I sort of alluded to in yesterday's video really didn't manifest itself. I'm not short, just watching it, but below 155, which is essentially yesterday's lows or even today's lows, that's what would get me potentially short for a tactical trade here, just to move back into this range. The IWM here has been lagging just a bit compared to some of the other major indices, and if it started to kind of spill over here, take out 155, lose this short-term trend line and this horizontal support, this pivot back here from above March, then that would get me potentially tactically short here for a move back into this range. Right now it's not happening, but again, if the Fed comes out with minutes, spooks the market, and we start to roll over here, and we start to take out yesterday's lows, then that might be a setup that I'm certainly looking at, and maybe it's interesting towards you, but not if this continues higher. If it continues higher, then all systems go on the upside. So that's the first one there, is IWM. Number 2 is ACB. So there's a few names here that have been acting well, or certainly pulled back recently in the cannabis space, but ACB seems to be emerging here, or at least holding up pretty well. It had this strong kind of volume move throughout the first quarter of this year. Lots of these stocks did in the sector, but it has pulled back a little more resilient recently, and it is starting to stabilize here around this $8.70. It kind of filled this gap here back on the 28th, or I should say the gap that was created on the 13th was filled basically on the 28th. 8th, and you can see we're starting to test up. MACD still in positive territory. So for me, I'd be looking for this to hold here around 867 or so. That's, I think, the bulls kind of line of defense there. And we have just essentially this sideways breakout range that I'd look for above 930, and that would get me interested there in ACB. Last but not least is WIX, WIX. This is a repeat here from last week, but again, kind of showcasing it today on the breakout we've talked about in last week's video. The higher lows, lower highs sort of consolidation triangle pattern here just under its all-time highs. You can see it's starting to finally emerge here, attempting to emerge to the upside here. A little bit of fade off the highs. We'll see how it finishes the day, but clearly one that looks like it wants to get going. So WIX, last one there, relative strength, and looking for that breakout. So that's it, 5 names. Hopefully you guys find something here that fits your strategy. Again, do your homework on these names. They're not direct recommendations, all of the usual disclaimers. So have a good rest of the day. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video update.